Blessings, blessings. Welcome, welcome to Secure Your Energy Economic Development Lives. I want to say, first and foremost, thank you for being here. If you don't know who I am, my name is Lady Lashley. You can call me Lady Lashley Grace, whatever works for you. But what we do every Wednesdays is that we host free economic development seminars down in Atlanta, deep down in Fulton County at the Adams Street Library. So I want to say thank you and shout out to Fulton County Library for partnering with Primetime Home Buyers and allowing us to host our series for Secure Your Energy, where we teach people how to invest in tax liens and tax deeds on this platform, but we also teach you the keys to get prepared to be a successful business owner. Businesses outside of real estate, any type of business. So we've been providing actionable items for you guys to work on each week. If you have not seen that, please look at our other lives where we broke down certain things that you need to have a successful business plan and to be a powerful leader in your community. So we had a lot of concepts over this last couple of weeks. And today, what we have been doing and been privileged to do today is to give you bonus content. Usually we don't do tax deeds and alternative real estate on this particular platform, but we wanted to basically feng shui the concept of business ownership and acquiring assets through real estate and putting those two things together to give you leverage, power, as well as prepare you for the future to be successful and diversifying your portfolio. So today what we're going to be doing is giving you the breakdown to deeds, the trade to being successful. But before we do that, we're going to be having a talk through, okay? I need you guys to get your pen and papers together because we have to build the bridge between entrepreneurship and investing in tax deeds, okay? We always do that. That's what we're doing here. Kind of giving you the keys to entrepreneurship as well as getting your mind ready to invest in real estate. So beyond the business, how savvy entrepreneurs build lasting wealth with deed properties. That's what we're going to talk about. So as a business owner, your focus is primarily entrepreneurship, growth, revenue, innovativeness, managing daily operations. And we talked about that in detail. Your mind is trained to identify opportunities, mitigate risk factors, and build something tangible. This is what your mind should be focused on. But what if that same entrepreneur spirit, that drive to build and secure, could be strategically applied outside of the core business, creating additional assets and enduring a layer of wealth. So that's what we're trying to do. Just build a layer of wealth, a foundation under our business, something that will help us fuel our business success. So entering the deed property investment market is something that we want to talk about. For many business owners, investing in deed property, essentially real estate, which is essentially real estate, where you hold the legal title, isn't just passive sideline income. It's calculated, it's strategic, and the business can accumulate a diversified portfolio, adding to your financial health. So it's about leverage, okay? Leveraging financially smart resources to build a long-term tangible asset. Does that make sense? All right, so one, the why. Why invest in these? Diversifying your portfolio. You can acquire tangible assets and control them without having a third party, which is a mortgage company. Passive income stream. We're going to get into that. It's a hedge for inflation. You have a buffer, something that you can liquidate. There are tax advantages that we're going to talk about a little bit. And we're going to get a little bit more into the leverage. So let's just break down each concept real quick. The diversification, okay? Your primary business, while potentially lucrative, carries inherited risk. Property investment acts as a hinge against market fluctuation, okay? In your industry, providing a stable asset class independent of your business. So this is a stable asset class outside of your business. Does that make sense? Also, investing in tax deeds create a tangible assets that you actually control. While choosing rental properties, resident or commercial, can provide steady cash flow, reduce your reliance solely just on your business profits. You can use these properties to become a landowner, okay? Or you can flip and sell as you buy, okay? Creating passive income stream for you. While choosing rental properties, it can provide a steady stream, predictable cash flow, reducing you just, as we say, depending on the market. This allows you to have a new sector added to your portfolio. In the end, helping you kind of hinge inflation. Real estate historically, trend has appreciated with inflation. So as you see, the housing market is inflated. It's kind of hard for some of us to get in the typical way. So this is why we're offering these alternative ways for you guys to get into the market and have an inflation hinge for you. If you happen to invest in a tax deed and it's $15,000 and the land is actually worth $30,000 and you have to liquidate it, you have a $15,000 profit. You have something sitting that's an asset. So we want to teach you how important that is. And it also opens up a tax advantage for you guys. If you haven't seen, we did an extensive live on the tax benefits of being a business owner and being in real estate and some of the things that you can do, and we're going to kind of address that today. But in the end, all of that says leads to creating leverage, the ability to use your assets to increase your borrowing power, okay? To control a much larger asset is a powerful wealth building tool, enabling significant returns on your relatively small land, a small investment. Okay, so let's kind of talk about the how. Business owners prefer property investment strategies. Business owners often bring unique perspective to real estate. That's why it's important for you guys to get in. We don't want you guys just to get in and rent and sell and flip. You may bring a beautiful business to that particular property, or a manufacturing that needs to be done. So there's a lot of things that you can do with your property. You can also house homeless. You can do so much. So it's a lot that we can do as business owners because we're very creative, okay? And that's why we're stressing the importance of not only having a sustainable business and have a lucrative business plan that's actionable, but also incorporating the importance of assets in that too. So while you're showing the lender what's your plan for the 5 years, you say, hey, I have a little bit of assets because I'm in this market too. They're like, wow, this person is smart. These are all the things that the lenders are looking for, not only just good credit to bridge. With a hope and a dream and a well-orchestrated plan, it is, you have more of a chance to secure a loan that you may need, okay? So, we bring things, ideas like commercial property. Business owners use a lot of the property that requires commercial property. This perhaps is the most strategic and often overlooked move. Instead of leasing, many business owners opt to buy the building that they're operating from, and that's what we want to show you. We want to save you as much money as possible. You know the rental market is high, as well as, going the conventional way of owning land. So you can save hundreds of thousands of dollars just by entering it from maybe the deed process, okay? So the benefit of that is outright ownership, which you don't have to pay, interest-based loans, which would allow you to keep more of your money to pay yourself. From rental income, the rent you pay, that they get paid effectively adds to your equity and your buying power. Now, also, you have control of customization. You have complete control over renovation, branding, long-term planning without a landlord restriction. But we also know that we want to bring the right property to the right area, and that's some of the things we talk about. What would thrive in that particular area that you're bringing that piece of land or your business? Either way, we can't just always talk about me. What we want to do, we got to kind of see the environment again. So this is the benefit of buying property outright through the deed process this week. Next week, we're going to move on to the foreclosure process, and then we're going to move on to the tax lien process. So we kind of exit down the road. We're giving you a lot. So please hit the like button. I want to say thank you for being here. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. If you would like to join us live, we're here every Wednesday at the Fulton County Adams Street Library. Okay? So other benefits is business assets, as we stress, and future flexibility. It can be rented, it can be sold, it can be held, whatever. It's so much you can do with land or an actual property, but each can be acquired through the deed process, okay? Now, buy and hold, very important. This is an asset, this builds your equity. When you go and present your business plan to the lenders, they're like, I got assets, I got 4 pieces of land, I got houses already waiting, but we just don't wanna liquidate it. Can I, get a line of credit and we can build this up, and this is the potential that I can have for renting this related to my building, or this is the potential of me saving money because I'm opening a shop right downstairs of my 2-family dwelling, and I'm able to have commercial and real estate. So this is important of incorporating this into your business plan as well. We're going far and beyond. We're showing the lender that we have a well-orchestrated plan and we're moving forward. All we need is the capital. All we need is the capital and some good connections, don't forget. So buy and hold is something very important, and I just explained why. We're gonna look into the commercial industry property, multi-tenant, or like I said, specified niche, just like I told you, maybe you wanna have a bookshop. I don't know, maybe a lounge downstairs where they have all internet for people, whatever. After school program, and upstairs you're renting it. You're showing your lender that you are covering your business into real estate, into a market that's tangible, appreciating, and you understand it. Does that make sense? We're bridging the gap. We're building the gap, bridging the gap. So if you guys also are business owners who need to store your stuff, or need, to produce your stuff, you can use the property you have for storage. It increase your flexibility and save you money. So industrial warehouses, high demand and potentially long-term lease potential for the scene, and creates stability for you. So if you have, let's say you have a piece of land and maybe you put 4 storage units on it, or iPod, those iPod things that they put on there. I don't know how much they cost, but I'm just throwing stuff out there. Somewhere that could be like a movable storage. You just put that up there for a couple of years while you're kind of letting people rent out that space, and you have your space, and then you make enough money to actually build a nice little building where you can have little storage units in there. It's so much potential when you have land, if you just take your time, okay? So, another thing I want you guys to get a understanding of, and we don't talk about it a lot, is land banks. Land banks. That's something that we're going to deep dive into coming into the new year, where I'm going to be teaching you about land banks and the importance of doing your diligence. We're dealing with that, okay? So for those with higher risk tolerance, the more sustainable capital, land deals can offer significant returns. And as I say, people who are further in the game, that's when I'll tell you get involved with the land banks, okay? But if you're a newcomer, I say start with a tax lien, see how it works, get your money back on your return, flip, possibly get something that you can own, because I taught you how to do your due diligence, do the tax lien deed process. And then from there, you can take that and build more knowledge, more leverage, and then go to different routes like a land bank. But I want you guys to kind of think about that, because these are the things you need to incorporate in your business plan, in your I say 5 to 10 years, but 5-year business plan to acquire some type of property. So participating in real estate also can allow you, as I say, increase funding for business owners who are, are poor time but capital rich. Investing in real estate or private equity funds allow them to participate in a larger professional managed project, like large apartment complex, commercial development, without having the management of the burden of interest loans, okay? While not directly holding the deed themselves, they can invest in entities that do. So again, I met an amazing group of people who said that they want to invest in properties in their particular area, and they came together and put a board together. And what they're doing is learning how to invest in these particular properties, which is good. Now, you don't have to do it yourself. They didn't have to do it themselves. They can get, someone who's an expert, where that expert can actually manage their portfolio for them as per what the board wants them to do, getting experts to come in. So it's a lot you can do with your business, expand the idea to incorporate more people as possible, networking, more resources and things like that. So, again, to bring more funds to you. Now, we're gonna get into key considerations for entrepreneur investments, okay? One thing we have to say, and I live by it, do your due diligence, it's paramount. Applying the same rigor that I told you to apply to doing your business plan and product research and analyzing the market and what's the best way to get your product out and the cheapest way. Same thing I want you to do for real estate. The rigor that you give to your business, you give the rigor to the real estate market, researching the financial analysis of investing in this particular market, the risk analysis as well. You have to do the core research so you can be successful. Again, consideration for investors, team building, knowing that they can't do it all on your own. Get together with experts. Get together with a board, someone you can create a board in your area for whatever project you're working on or your particular business. Just because you have a board does not mean that you don't own your business. It's just a different way to regulate it and get more people into your network. Long-term vision. Entrepreneurs consider the long-term vision. Most successful business owners view property as a long-term asset, not as a get-rich-quick scheme. And that's what we're going to teach you. Anything I talk about is not a rich scheme. I had one person consultate with me like, hey, I'm going to be able to, basically, he didn't say build generational wealth, but basically get his $1 million right now. And I'm like, that's not how this works. This takes time. It takes patience. It takes learning. But once you win it moves faster and faster and it gets easier for you. It's not saying that you won't be able to build millions of dollars and a real diversified portfolio, but it doesn't happen overnight. That's why I say have a long-term vision for your business and your potential properties that you want to own, okay? Also, you want to keep in mind with everything we're talking about, the most important thing is time management. You can't be overwhelmed. Don't get overwhelmed. Just take one day at a time, one project at a time. I look at things like, especially if you are someone who's aiming to be a Bill Gates, call me Miss Bill Gates, owning so many different businesses and being in different genres. It's like, imagine a bookshelf and you having 5 different projects you're working on, and they are, vases. So I look at it like, hey, I'm going to deal with this vase on Monday and Tuesday, this vase on Thursday, this vase at this time, to make sure that you're addressing everything. Don't overwhelm yourself. For instance, I do my real estate days on Wednesdays and Monday. I do my uncensored talk days on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Does that make sense? We have shout out to Levi Productions. That's what we're under. We have several things going on with Levi Production as far as different platforms where we have Uncensored and Lightning Talk. That is our podcast / YouTube page where we just talk about everything. And then we also have over here Primetime Home Buyers, where we teach you the fundamentals that you need to invest in alternative real estate and doing your due diligence. And then under that, we have Lashley's Shapewear, okay? And that's our health and wellness sector. You have to be diverse, y'all. And according to the Bible, it says have 7 different incomes. It won't be easy, but you take your time. And with that, it goes to say you build a network. So, building a dual legacy is what we're kind of highlighting here. For this business owner, we want you to have discernment. Investing in deed property is more than just buying brick and mortar. It's a strategic extension of your entrepreneurship journey. It's about diversifying your wealth, creating a stable income long-term, hedging against economic strife as we see what's going on, ultimately building a robust portfolio that helps you endure a long-lasting legacy that goes beyond just a balance sheet, okay? So if you're a business owner looking to solidify your financial future, consider investing in tax deeds, okay? So we're gonna get into this real quick. We're about how many minutes into this? 15, 20 minutes into this. We're gonna get to the PowerPoint. Would you just turn this just a little bit so it'll show the PowerPoint? And we're gonna talk about it, guys. We got about a 13-page PowerPoint. I want you guys to get your pen and paper ready. If you guys know anything about deed investment or you don't, you will know today, okay? Please hit the like button. We're opening up the way for you guys, okay? Deeds, keys to the trades. All right, bear with me, gotta drink some coffee, get your coffee, guys, and if y'all need to press rewind on this, press rewind, because we got a lot to show you. So, tax liens and deeds are the basic keys. So we're gonna give you the basics between the two because I want you to know the difference. If you purchase a deed, OTC, that deed is in your possession, over the counter, add deed sale. OTC, when I say OTC, that means over the counter, guys, so kind of know the lingo because you're in the real estate market right now. Make sure to check the property out before you buy the deed. And that's what we talk about, due diligence, and that's what we teach you in our seminars. Check the mapping and tax assessor parcel map. The assessor parcel map are located on the assessor's office webpage. I'm giving you key actionable steps that you can take to find out about the property. Okay, so these are some of the things you need to understand where the tax assessor's office is located, how do you go online and start to navigate through it, and what resources they have. You will need the street address, the 14-digit parcel, in order to bring the map up. So right now, I'm basically showing you how to start looking at the property that you may be interested in. Okay, this is just a taste, just a tester, just a taste. Okay. We're going to get into it. Now, what is a parcel map? These are the things that you need to know. A parcel map shows the subdivision of the land into the parcel for sale and is recorded in the county recorder's office. Parcel maps typically contains fewer lots than the tract map. So, before you go to any type of deed sale, foreclosure sale, I need you guys to know the importance of the steps you need to do your due diligence. That's why we're talking about this now. I'm not going to say, go here, go here, go there, because I'm going to tell you where to go, the steps to find these properties. We're going to talk about that, but right now, before I lose y'all guys, and y'all get so excited and go like, yeah, I found the list, we want you to know what to do before you start to move and put your money on, and this is doing your due diligence. I'm giving you keys that's very important. Map this down. You need the parcel number. You need to know how to look up the parcel number on the tax assessor's website so you can see if it's back taxes that's due on these properties. What's the financial state of this property? What is the value according to the tax assessor, especially if it's land? You'll kind of know what their value is versus what it says maybe on a real estate platform. You want to compare and contrast. This is before you invest because you want to know what's the most I can invest? Why should I do 10,000? Why would I do 10,000 when the value for this property is only 5? This is why we're doing this. Very important. Before we say go there and do there. So the parcel number is the same as the property ID. It's just like your birth certificate. Social security card. Some jurisdictions and office refer this to the number as an assessor parcel number, assessor identification number, a photo number, or a personal parcel ID number. Now, we're talking to many people from all across the United States, so we want to let you know that even though we got 50 states, we have over 3,000 counties, and sometimes they have different lingos. So that's why within our programs and our seminar, we kind of give you the lingo so you don't be confused. But this is the number that you need so you can do your due diligence. You don't want to just look at it on Zillow and say, hey, this is a great property. No, we need to start doing some due diligence on the history, okay? So the parcel number is something that you really want to know about. I understand the parcel number and what What is a parcel owner? So a parcel owner is basically the landowner, and we know who that is. That is the person who is currently have power over the title. They may be at the point where they're about to lose it, but once you buy the deed, but you want to know as much as about that person as possible as well, because you want to know if they're still living in the property, and you want to do a little bit of history on them, because people liens that they have on a person can sometimes be on the property. And remember, when you buy a deed, it does not mean that it's outright clear. It does not mean that it has no liens on it or anything. And that's what we want to show you before you just go in and invest in some of these alternative real estates. Remember, the information that I give you guys is actually interchangeable in any single market, especially when it comes to doing your due diligence. You're going to the land bank, deed sale, tax lien sale, whatever. I stress these important things to you, okay? You want to understand the legal description of the property, because sometimes you can, they have a legal description that does not fit what's actually on the deed or what's in the tax assessor description. That is something that you may have to fix. That's something that you want to pay attention to. Everything has to be in order, especially when you want to close the deal. So as we doing our due diligence, we reading the legal description. Okay, yes, map right. The legal description is going to help you use the GIS map. That's another mapping service that you want to be able to cross-reference the actual location of the property, especially if you're outside of state. Okay? And you want to continue to see consistency in where this property is displayed, i.e. Google Map, GIS, tax assessor's office, because guess what? We're investors that invest all over the United States, and sometimes you're not able to see those properties. So we're teaching you the methods to kind of do your due diligence. But what I teach you directly in our seminar is how to read the deed. Legal description. Now that's where we come in with our program. It's not always easy to read the legal description, especially if you don't know about METs and bonds. So we teach you about METs and bonds and the foundation of legal descriptions and verifying if it's okay. All right? Moving on. GIS maps. You see, I was ahead of my time. These are some of the things that you need to know about as a real estate investor. Again, because it's the same due diligence that we're doing and putting into our business plan and our company and our product is the same due diligence that we're doing into buying our property for our business. Having that leverage, having that assets. You want to make assets don't have to only be in your backyard. I have an asset in Maryland. It's not here in Georgia, but I know if I ever want to go get a line of credit or something, that asset would be something that I can use to show longevity, stability, and a little bit of assets. Okay, does that make sense? To gain more. So GIS maps, what is it? This is an online website that is a collection of computer hardware, okay? Software, geographic data for capturing, managing, analyzing, and displaying all forms of geographical referred information throughout the United States. The GIS maps are very different depending on what program the county is using or whatever entity is using. So we kind of break that down for you. We have a GIS seminar where we teach you about different GIS platforms and how to input the information in it. Once you kind of get the basis of what to look for, you'll be able to navigate through any GIS systems. But, you know, a lot of them tell you what to do, but sometimes it can be a little bit complicated. But we do show you that because that's going to give you the next or the best look of the property next to Google Live, Google Earth. Does that make sense? All right. But this will give you more information about the property. Many times the county will have its GIS map on the tax assessor website. You can go right there and compare it to the tax assessor's office parcel map versus the GIS map right there. Because technology is getting so beautiful, these are some of the things that the county offer you, especially as an investor, because they want to get these properties out. They want people to be able to see them, okay? So we do have a list of GIS services that we provide, we don't provide for you, but we can recommend. So when you take the GIS seminar, in total, you'll get all of that information. So again, another important thing, this is doing your due diligence, because I'm not just throwing you out there to go buy deeds, foreclosures, tax liens, and all of this stuff. Last week, we were talking about the importance of assets. the importance of this, and now I'm teaching you the importance of due diligence before I just say, go there, go there, go here, okay? Find a copy of the property deed. A copy of your property deed is kept at the local county recorder's office or assessor's office, depending on how big or small your county is, where the land is located. The local, to locate your county, Google it, the city, town, zip code, where the land is located. After identifying your county, use the preferred internet search engine to find the website for your county recorder assessor's office. And that is whatever county that you are interested in investing in. Contact the agency. Ask how you can get a copy of the property deed. But you don't have to do that. They have everything online, and if you go to the frequent asked questions, that's the first thing I tell you to do. Especially if you plan on doing business with a county or becoming a business resident. You don't want to bother them too much. You want to go in knowledgeable. So you always read a frequent asked questions before you go in and ask. But 9 out of 10, this information will be available on their website. So right here, you'll be looking for the property deed information before you invest. Why? Because if there's any issues with the property deed as far as transferability over the last 80 years, you can find that in public information. You may be the person that has to fix it, or you may be the person that want to stay away from it. And we teach you how to read the deed for consecutiveness. We also have a separate deed program seminar. Now mind you, when we sell you those things, these deed seminars consist of 5 hours of learning, on-demand videos that teach you hands-on, as well as I do a lot of verbal teaching like right now, and you'll see PowerPoint. So it's diverse learning, and you'll have access to it forever. Literally all our seminars is $75 one-time cost, and you'll have it forever. All right, so I just wanted to introduce some of the services that we have for you that helps you go deep down into what we teach you. Now I can show you where to go, but I want to show you how to do your due diligence to be safe. So go to the county recorder's office and see, can you locate the deed? You want to look for consecutiveness. You want to see the owner's name match the name on the tax assessor's office. Okay, is the last deed that's printed here match the owner of the tax assessor's list tax assessor's bill that we looked at? Those type of things we start cross-referencing right away while we're doing our due diligence. All right. Requesting the deed in person, you can do it in person as well, but we're online. That's a method you can do, but my best advice is find out the way to do it online. You can request a copy of the deed, okay? But I do believe a lot of counties have it online that you don't have to request a copy, because if there are requests for copies, you may have to pay. So we just want you to know. You may have to pay a fee. In large cities, the cost could run from $2.25 to $4 per page for a certified copy. That's if you particularly need a certified copy. In smaller towns, you may pay less. The first 500 pages may be free for you. I'm just giving you kind of abstract information because we teach about real estate all across the United States. Okay, but we do show you how to find that direct information that you need for your particular state and county. All right. Once you know once you know how to do it one time, you can apply it to any state. Okay. Using the property tax statement. This is something I want you guys to look at, pay attention to. We all cross-reference. I gave you some key indicators to highlight, because not only are we going to look into how we locate the tax deeds and sales, we want to know what to do next before we actually just go to the sale, and that's doing your due diligence. So I'm opening your eyes to due diligence, guys, and I'm giving you a lot of keys that's within our seminar, okay? So, using the property tax statement, the legal description of the particular parcel or of the property may also be located in annual property tax statement. So you want to look for the legal description and also the price, which is prepared by the city or the county tax assessor's office. Now remember, if they have a land that says it's assessed $5,000, and for example, I had a property that was on a holiday. Did not know they do this, but they actually approved a holiday for this particular county to lower the taxes because of inflation that was going on. They knew that inflation would make the people who own land have to pay too much taxes. And they said they want people to build. So how are we going to charge them double the taxes, slowing them down for building? Let's put this on a holiday for 3 years. These are the things that you want to pay attention to, and these are the things you want to know how to research. So being in contact with the county, knowing law, paying attention to the changes, and being engaged. Not all jurisdictions include the legal description of the property on the tax statement. So just because you're looking at the tax assessor page doesn't mean the legal description is there, but you want to know what the legal description is and what are the things that entail to make sure that it's right. And that's where you'll find it at the county recorder's office, where all of these should be available, most likely online, back at least 80 years. Okay, we're literally teaching you what title companies do every day. But they're bonded, insured. I never tell you, and insured. I never tell you not to go to experts, not to go to lawyers, not you use these services. But what we teach you here is how to be more prepared to deal with them, so they don't juke you, or you can kind of lead them in the direction that you need, that you don't have to go all around the world. Okay, so let's move forward. I hope you guys are getting the keys you need to get started. It's very, very important. So reading the deed and looking at the deed. All right, the deed will often be captioned: land deed, property deed, warranty deed. We have the video free right now. It's on Prime Time Home Buyers page. Legal Lady Lashley, real estate consultant expert. We put at the bottom it is connected to this page, where we teach you the difference between a land deed, property deed, warranty deed, and a quick claim deed. Dun 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 dun. You know we hate quick claim deeds. They're very dangerous, not secure, and that's how a lot of fraud goes on. And we teach you that. We don't get caught up. Don't believe the hype. So we have a free video to show you the difference between those two. Go check it out. Find the legal description of the property, the date and the name of the property's owners, the last transactions that happened. You need to know, because you want to cross-reference, and these are the people that you may need to put on notice, okay? Now, as far as deeds are usually transferred over to you by the entity that's selling them, so you may not need to contact the owner, but it do depend on the state requirement, because some counties make you do a little bit of extra work, like for instance, they try to say Georgia is like a tax lien deed state, but it's not. You got a 1 year redemption, but it kind of transfer over into a deed really easy, where you just got to go to the court, make sure you have title insurance, and they'll clear the deed and transfer it over for you, okay? That's why it's a little bit better investing in tax liens in Georgia, because of the transferability is easier. Not to say that it may not be no other liens on the property, but you have a smaller chance of it being such a significant lien. Does that make sense? In this particular state. Okay. So reading the deed and looking at the deed. Following the legal description is something that we teach you about. It's not an easy task to read the description, because it deals with the mets and bonds. If you don't know anything about Freemasonry, and the teachings of Masons, that's what is incorporated in the description. They say, hey, 200 block radius from this stone to that stone is where the property is located. And you're like, what? What? So we teach you how to verify that, guys, okay? Once you know how to do it, you got it, all right? And this is actually what the title companies do, okay? And the reason why I had to learn this is because I went through a lot when I first started investing in tax liens, and I came up into some trouble. So the more I learned, the more I created for you guys, so you guys don't make the same mistakes. After 6 years in, I think we're far along, avoiding as much mistakes as possible, and we want you to be the same way. So looking at the tax deed, if the property is part of a subdivision, these are some of the things you want to pay attention to when picking properties off the tax lien list. Sometimes you can pick this right off of the list or the deed list. You'll see the same owner's name consecutively, or you'll see the parcel numbers that match consecutively, or the address that looks the same. So you'll know that this is possibly in a subdivision. The description will name the subdivision and list the lot number. You can find the plat maps in the subdivision at the same time in the county office. Now, this is what I will say. If you happen to, usually you're not going to find deeds for sale that's in subdivisions with new developers. If you have like an old development where that, all the houses have been sold for years and things like that, you'll probably find a a deed-based home. But new development companies, sometimes they have their taxes outstanding, and I teach that on the tax lien course, for the duration of them building or finding a buyer for that particular parcel. And then if you go to move forward to acquire that property through the deed or tax lien process, they kind of pay you back. So those are redeemable to me, and I teach you guys that in the over-the-counter method. Some methods that you guaranteed to get your money back with a little bit of interest. Just know if you invest in tax liens, if you do everything right, you're guaranteed to get either interest back because the owner has to pay you back, or you're guaranteed to own the property. With deed, you're guaranteed to own the property. That's why we want you to do your due diligence, because whatever you get, you're stuck with it. Okay? And usually they give you a warning. So just to close off, because we gave you some keys, I'm sneaking. I'm teaching y'all things that we teach in our real estate course. Okay, today, the importance of knowing the tax assessor's office, knowing the county recorder's office, going through all their website, looking through the frequent asked questions, seeing if they have a GIS map, so you can look at these properties before you invest. All right? So, again, just closing off on this particular PowerPoint, we're going to get more into giving you more key steps to invest in a tax deed. If you find any attachments or apex, this is something I want to pay attention to. Red light, make sure y'all pull it up, okay? Because sometimes you'll see the deed and you don't go look at the attachment and you don't see what that is, and that can hinder you for closing. That could be something you really need to know. So sometimes the legal description is included as an attachment. You will be told this on the face of the deed. Under legal description, typically you will see language such as see attached or properly described in Exhibit A, see attached. If you do not have the attachment, you likely did not get into the recorder's office. That means that you're not at the right place. You should return and ask someone for help, or you should call. So I want you guys to know, look at the deed, look at the deed. I know a lot of you guys are like, okay, I looked at the deed last year, what I do next? Well, if you want to know that, I advise you to take our seminar, okay? So now what we're going to do is, let's just put this back on number one, and we're going to do the rest of the talk too. We're almost done. We're 44 minutes into this broadcast. I want to say thank you so much. We're going to start wrapping some things up, but we have some more information for you. So key steps to investing in deed properties. One, define your investment goals. Let's go. Now, I kind of open up the door to doing your due diligence. Now I'm going to release and say, go get them, just a little bit. Define your investment goal. Why are you investing? What's your risk tolerance? What's your horizons? You want a short-term, long-term? What's your budget? And that's why we wanted to go look at the map. We wanted to see where this property was located. What's going on in the area? What should we invest? Because we looked at the tax assessor's office, and the taxes for this is $15,000 a year. Is this worth it? That's why we looked at all of that information before we did this. But we know our budget because we are very lean, mean, green, saving, budgeting, and planning machines. If you watch our other videos, we taught you analyzing the market, budgeting savings, starting at home, bringing that same concept into your businesses, tracking every dollar, everything. What would make it easier at home? You can bring these methods right into your business. That's how it starts, with that portfolio. So now we know our budget. We know we've been saving every month. We was able to save $500 away somehow, and now we 5 months down the line. No, we 10 months down the line, and we save $500. When we got $5,000, let's go. Okay, the $5,000 to invest now because we did our due diligence, securing our energy. Just take a little while. I know 10 months seem long, but in that 10 months you built yourself up. You have your business plan. You have a marketing plan. You know what platform you're selling your product on. You have an idea of what type of business location you want to be at. How are you going to enter that location? Are you going to own it? And in 10 months, you came up with the master plan. And now you're executing it one bit by bit. Okay? So, what's your budget? Determine how much cash you have for the down payment or the closing costs, emergency funds, potential renovation. Now, you know with a deed, you don't have a down payment. but you want to know if there's any extra cost you have to pay, like transferring the deed, the taxes on it, insurance that you need to acquire for all of your property, no matter what. And if you already own a primary property, you may be able to add a rider, so you don't have to get new insurance policy for this particular property as an asset right now, because it's just sitting, and you're not probably making money on it, but you have something that's liquidatable and insured. Okay? We think about everything here. Sometimes we have what we need without making it more complicated. So again, the same way you did your market analyzation or analyzing for your business, you do the same thing for this property. Research the neighborhood. Is it good for my business? Is it good for job strength growth? Is it schools? Is it highways? What's the crime rate? What's the amenities around there? Shopping center, restaurants, parks? How would this benefit my business? Because guess what? It's a whole bunch of parks around this area, and I want to do park events. I want to bring the community together, and that's where I can market it, build, connections. We talked about that. Leadership, the importance of your business turning into, how can I say, an avenue for you to become a leader in your community, to help govern some of the laws and the things that's coming into your community. That's what we're leading. This whole economic development seminar is for you to become a leader and to grab your community by the and say, no more will we be controlled by politics. No more will we be controlled by the left and right. We will be controlled by our communities because we know what we want. We know what we need. And now we have the assets and the power to move forward, okay? Sorry to say, in this world, money is power and knowledge is power. So have both. Start with the knowledge and then the money come on in, all right? So market research the neighborhood, understanding the demand. Are people actually moving in the neighborhood? Would this help your business? Property value, very important. That's what you want to know before you even invest in a deed, tax lien, foreclosure, anything. What's the potential? Economic indicators. Look at the unemployment rate, medium income, population growth. These are all things you want to consider with your business as well. I love this product, but do the community need it? Will they use it? Does that make sense? So we don't only do things out of want, we do it out of need. Secure finance is not paying cash, okay? So getting pre-approved, okay, this is what you want to do before you even look into property or have your money, okay? As you know, I don't recommend taking loans out right away. I recommend you saving your money, knowing how to budget and save, and doing it the, how can I say, what do they call it, the poor man's way? Just without having to go and grab onto someone to help you put you in debt. So securing finance is not only loans, but it also can be angel investors. Okay. As well as angel investors, and then we have crowdfunding platforms. We talked about that. Be diverse with your money acquiring process, okay? And with that, everything that we talked about in your business plan, market analyzation, and everything, that's what you're presenting to these lenders, okay? So, finding properties for sale. You want to, again, use all your research sources online. I want you guys to meet realtors. You say, why meet realtors when realtors want to sell us $1 million homes? Sometimes the realtors will help you look at some of these properties, help you determine the value of it. For instance, I had a piece of land I wanted to sell, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to sell it for this. And she's like, no, you can sell it for this amount, because she knows more about the land, so get an expert. Finding properties to sell through real estate agencies, online portals such as Zillow, Realtors.com, Redfin, LoopNet, MLS. These are places that you cross-reference. These are places that you'll look. Now, not typically for deeds, but this is more so for research, okay? Again, now you also want to look for potential properties at these auctions. So we have foreclosure auctions, tax deed sales, can offer a high amount of discount. But I want you to know the risk is there. That's why we're teaching you, okay? To do extensive due diligence. Networking. You can find properties just by networking with people. Again, talking to other investors. real estate attorneys, property managers, wholesalers. You want to talk to people who do wholesaling as well. That'll help you find properties that you may be into. Okay, and they may have idea where you can find deeds for sale. We have a video where we teach you. I think it's about 18 or 19 states that do straight deed sale. So we do have that for you for free, where you can look and find out all of the property, all of the states that do deed sales. And then we also have a deed seminar that breaks down everything from A, B, C, D, E, and put all of this in order for you, okay? So again, conducting a thorough research is critical. Due diligence, property inspection before you go into purchasing a deed. Hire a professional inspector to check the foundations, roof, plumbing, electrical. Now, mind you, with deeds and tax liens, you cannot go into the property, but you want to have these people on hand, because at least you look at the outside structure. You want to bring them right on in and see what you have to do with this property, okay? Because some people, because just because you have a property don't mean that you're going to be able to get a loan. Lenders want you to have title insurance. So with deeds, you need to do certain things in tax liens to for the title company to give you title insurance. So these are some of the things we talk about too. Financial analysis of the particular area again. We told you, look at what is going on in the area. Can you rent this? What you can use it for? We talk about appraisal, title searches, some of the things you can find in the seminar. We also have a lot of free videos that open up to you guys. Y'all can look right now today in the Primetime Home Buyers of what to expect on a survey. What is the legalities of zoning? How to find out where to find out the zoning laws. These are some of the things that you want to do before, because again, you're a business owner. You may want to use this particular property to put a commercial business there, but you bought a property that's only real estate. Now, you want to talk to the zoning office to see, can you get it rezoned? Hey, these are some of the things we teach you too. Now you're not always successful getting a rezone, but if you see the current trends in the area and things are changing, sometimes the zoning office is more open to work with you, because geographically things are changing. They want to bring more money in and all types of stuff. So we teach you about that, okay? So, some of the things I want you to consider before we get off of here, because we're at 3:05, is educate yourself, educate yourself. Build a team, build a team. You gotta have partnership. It's not always good to be a one-man band. I know it's hard to trust people, but that's why we get out the internet. That's why we go outside. That's why we have these seminars where you can meet someone in person and kind of read what vibe they're giving off. Can you work with them? So remember, networking is very important. Get off the internet. I want to say thank you for being here today and watching us. We want you to come outside, get some fresh air. So build a team, start small. Your first investment might be a single family home or a piece of land, but it's going to be yours, and it's going to be an asset, and it's something that you can actually include on your portfolio to diversify it. Again, having a financial cushion is the most important thing that we want to show you in this video today, in this class. This is going to help you have a financial cushion just in case anything happens. Just in case. The market is so volatile. All types of industries are up and down, up and down. All right? Understanding your local market, general advice is good. The specified knowledge is the best. So you always want to go to an expert, and you always want to do your due diligence. It's the most important thing that we can teach you. So what we're going to do is connect a video that gives you the information you need to get started on tax liens and tax deeds comprehensively. If you have not seen it, we have a sister channel called Legal Real Estate Consultant Lashley, and that is our Primetime Home Buyer page, where you'll get all of this information as far as what to do to invest in real estate. This particular page, again, is for all of our live seminars, the events that we have, our chit chats, We're gonna be making live broadcasts again. I'm gonna be coming back around talking about the economy, the housing market. We're gonna have fun videos where I'm in the studio. We're gonna be going back doing that. If you haven't seen, we had a few that we did like last year. That was pretty good. So with that being said, I want to say thank you so much for being here with Lady Lashley. It's been a great experience. I hope I gave you a whole lot to think about as far as the importance of investing in these as a business owner. With that being said, we'll see you next week, and we're going to be getting into foreclosure